On the news tonight, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says government aims at pursuing a just energy transition agenda. Soldiers kill bandits, rescue 16 victims in Kaduna. World Bank warns Nigeria to prioritize reforms in the banking sector to boost economy. And on the foreign scene, Burkina Faso government asks France to remove troops from its land. A very good evening, the major report. My name is David Ojo. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has said some of the goals of the federal government in pursuing a just energy transition agenda is seeking, among other issues, adequate climate finance, especially through the African Carbon Market Initiative. He made this known while receiving a delegation from the U.S.-based Rocky Mountain Institute, an international think tank involved with the issue of energy transition for the last 40 years. Professor Osinbajo had earlier in the day virtually participated in a progress meeting of the Market Initiative Steering Committee, where the progress of the plans on building the market in Nigeria and Africa was reviewed. He said the federal government will be working on issues on climate finance, specific projects that will advance the 2060 net zero target of Nigeria and exploring the possibility of electric vehicles in the country. According to the Vice President, Nigeria will consider the decommissioning of generators, development of cooking stove, think through options such as electric cars. The steering committee noted that it plans to attain $1 billion in total commitments by buyers before COP28 later this year. The Senate has passed 35 of the 44 bills and the Constitution Amendment bills to the President for assent, indicating that they are bowed to the pressure of the state governor's refusal to pass the local government autonomy clause. The lawmakers directed the clerk of the National Assembly to transmit the 35 bills that have met the requirement of a provision of Section 9, subsection 2 of the Constitution to the President for assent. The Constitution demands that at least 24 state assemblies must have passed the bill before the Constitution Amendment Bill is transmitted to the President for assent. So far, the 35 bills have been considered by 27 state houses of assembly and approved by at least 24 state houses of assembly as required by law. The states are Osun, Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross Rivers, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Imo, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kogi, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Rivers, and Yobe states. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has assured Nigerians that it will replicate the Osun and Ekiti gubernatorial election success story come next month. The assurance was given at the Election Monitoring and Support Center Hamba Zone Implementer Workshop for 2023 General Election. In his address, Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner Olusegun Agbaje stressed that the support center remains a proactive measure to reducing challenges during elections. He explained that since the constitutional responsibility and obligation of INEC were to conduct free, fair, credible, and equitable polls, the Commission must demonstrate its ingenuity, capability, commitment, and determination to undertake a credible exercise next year. Special Advisor to INEC Chairman Professor Mohammed Kuna harped on the need to take inventory of readiness state by state and council by council in order to have clear assessment of the readiness status as well as to have total control of all planned activities. Ahead of February 25 presidential election in Nigeria, eligible voters have continued to visit INEC offices for the collection of their permanent voter cards. Some of those who spoke with Osbc News commended the electoral body for ensuring that the process of PVC collection is not cumbersome. Our reporter, Oluwadamilola Adebayo has more on the story.
General elections around the corner, and many Nigerians are getting ready to cast their vote on that day to vote in the candidates of their choice. One of the requirements an eligible voter is expected to present before an input into the biometric accreditation machine in the permanent voters card (PVC). The importance of the PVC cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the reason many Nigerians have continued to visit the offices of the INEC to get their card and not to get disenfranchised on the election day.
For every person to vote, he or she must be a registered voter issued with a permanent voters card of PVC. The Commission has consistently maintained a policy of no PVC, no voting. Nothing has changed.
Osbc News Crew visited the INEC offices in Osogbo and around the local government areas and observed that people are still coming in to collect their PVCs. One of those who came for their PVC was Mr. Lawoye Oluwoye, who stated that he needed to get the PVC so as to be able to vote in the candidates of his choice. According to him, performing his civic duty is of great importance as he holds the key in determining the future of the country.
The necessary thing why I understand is that PVC is very important because we will be able to vote the person we want in and the person we want to be out.
Speaking in the same vein, Mrs. Bosse Ajayi, who spoke with Osbc News shortly after collecting her voter's card, expressed satisfaction with the entire process as she noted that it was very fast and less cumbersome. She enjoyed other Nigerians that are yet to collect their PVCs to do so in order to exercise their civic rights.
I come to collect my voter's card.
And did you spend how many hours?
Just 1 minute. So then I collect it fast.
Are you ready to vote now?
Yeah.
It will be recalled that INEC has shifted the deadline of the collection of PVCs to the 29th of this month to ensure that every registered voter has ample opportunity to collect their PVCs ahead of the forthcoming elections. Oluwadamilola Adebayo, Osbc News.
Decision by a 5-man panel of justices affirmed Oladipupo Adebutu as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the forthcoming governorship election in Ogun State. The apex court held that only an aspirant that participated in a primary election conducted for the purpose of nominating candidate of the political party could lawfully challenge the outcome. The court dismissed an appeal that was led before it and aggrieved governorship aspirant of the party in the state, Jimmy Lawal. Lawal challenged the list of delegates that was used in the conduct of the governorship primary election. The party held in the state, urging that the list which contained names of the political appointees was not in tandem with names of delegates that were democratically elected at the World Congresses. The appellants, among other things, sought a court order to invalidate the outcome of the said primary election and for an order to compel the PDP to conduct a fresh one. However, both the Federal High Court and the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal dismissed the case on merit. Troops of Operation Forest Sanity have rescued 16 kidnapped victims, killing 3 bandits in separate operation in 2 local government areas of Biningwari and Igabi of Kaduna State. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Harwan, who disclosed these in a statement today, said some of the rescued victims have been rushed to the undisclosed hospital for medical treatment. The commissioner stated that items recovered from the terrorists include 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 pump-action gun, 1 improvised explosive device, 1 phone radio, and 10 motorcycles. I said troops of Operation Forest Sanity have rescued 16 citizens in operation spanning Biningwari, Kaduna Road, and a location in Igabi local government area. According to him, the troop responded to the distress call along the Ndawa Manini axis of the Biningwari Kaduna Road. The troop arrived to foil the attack, rescuing 15 persons. In the process, some of the rescued persons who sustained injuries were rushed to the hospital for treatment. Nursing mothers have been advised to ensure that their children and wards are fully vaccinated at infant through childhood immunization schedule to prevent them from contracting the deadly diarrhea disease. The epidemiologist at the Osun State Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kunle Salami, gave the advice while speaking with Osbc News against the backdrop of the outbreak in some parts of the country. Osbc reporter Oluchi Amuda has the rest of the story.
The global community is yet to fully recover from the havoc caused during the outbreak of the highly contagious and deadly COVID-19 disease, with the resurgence of variants and its attendant implications on the socio-economic life of the people. However, another contagious infection known as diphtheria has emerged and has been spreading in some parts of the country. Diphtheria is said to be a highly contagious disease caused by a bacterium called Corynebacterium diphtheria, which produces toxins that make people very sick. Explaining more about the disease, an epidemiologist who doubles as the head of the department Community Medicine, Osun Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kunle Salami, stated that diphtheria spread from person to person, usually through respiratory droplets from coughing or sneezing, adding that people can also get sick from touching infected clothes, objects, or open sores.
When somebody is coughing and somebody is having difficulties in swallowing, those are the symptoms anyway, but there is what we call grey patches at the back of the throat. So the health workers should please watch out for diphtheria outbreak.
The medical practitioner noted that the symptoms of diphtheria include fever, runny nose, conjunctivitis, and neck swelling, and warned that those who are at risk of contracting diphtheria are children and adults who have not received any single dose of the normal childhood routine immunization, people who live with poor sanitations, healthcare workers, or those exposed to suspected or confirmed cases of the disease.
People who have poor immunization history, they should please go and get the vaccine. Then one other thing is to prevent overcrowding.
It will be recalled that the data released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, showed that the country has a total of 123 confirmed cases of diphtheria infection and 38 deaths in 4 states of the Federation. The agency noted that Kano has confirmed 100 cases, Lagos 5, Yobe 17, and Osun has recorded 1 case. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
We now go on a commercial break.
1,000. We go wash play tire. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, hello lówó wa.
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you are to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go tell?
You're welcome back once again. The River State Commissioner for Police Okon Effiong has ordered the immediate arrest of vigilante groups carrying firearms in any part of the state. These came as some vigilantes were seen, especially in Delbu area of Port Harcourt, brandish including pump-action rifles with various frightening uniforms. The situation has raised concern in the metropolis, and many residents saying they had not seen the local security outfit in such attire during the day. Speaking on development, a spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Inyerege Koko, said the vigilantes were not licensed to carry arms. The State Police spokesperson had given a stern warning to the local security outfit not to carry arms, adding that vigilantes had no power to arrest people and keep them in detention. World Bank's Nigerian country's director Shubham Chudhuri said the country needs urgent regulatory and policy reforms at the federal and state levels to unlock additional 6.7% yearly growth over the next 20 years. Mr. Chudhuri disclosed these during the Business Professional Forum in Lagos. He said Nigeria must prioritize reforms for short and medium terms on microeconomic institutional enabler and investment accelerators. He said Nigerians should adopt a single market reflective exchange rate, noting that despite a surge of oil export revenues, foreign exchange reserves held at the Central Bank of Nigeria are falling and have declined in 2022, while the exchange rate in the parallel market has surged. Mr. Chudhuri said subsidies benefit richer households and certainly leaks to neighboring countries, adding that Nigeria's petrol prices are the lowest in the region, thereby creating strong incentives for smuggling to neighboring countries. Bovi Uboma, a popular human merchant, has disclosed that he considers himself an entertainer rather than a celebrity. Taiwo Alake has the details of these and more of our entertainment desk.
Popular woman merchant Bovi Uboma has said he considers himself an entertainer rather than a celebrity. He said this is so because his focal point is on keeping his audience entertained with the content he dishes out regularly. It could be recalled that Bovi began his career in April 2007, starring in the sitcom Extended Family, which he also wrote and produced. Bovi, father of three, was an emerging force in comedy shows and events throughout Nigeria, made his stand-up comedy debut in Nigeria's premier comedy franchise, Night of 1,000 Laughs, organized by Oprah Williams. His first stand-up special at the Echo Convention Center was staged Square in 2014. He premiered his first movie, It's a Day, on 9th September 2016, which crossed 55 million naira in the Nigeria box office. In 2017, he was nominated for the AMVCA Award as the Best Actor in Comedy. Elsewhere, superstar actress Mercy Johnson-Okoji has given credit to her senior colleague, Patience Ozoko, whose cancer helped her to quit dressing indecently. Mercy, who was well known for wearing clingy clothes, bearing part of her body as a single, said the veteran convinced her to embrace decency for the sake of her future kids. The mother of four confessed she was lucky to have received the life-changing admonition habits. Noted she learned the hard way. Meanwhile, a United States of America-based Nigeria entrepreneur, Jide Akiyemi, has said that he is passionate about helping youth in the country benefit from the living in a global village. Akiyemi is the convener of the Building Lives Through Orientation, Certainty and Knowledge initiative, told Newsmaker that world is not a global village. He added that his plan is to empower and reorientate young Nigerians, stating that the conference it held in Lagos recently is the first of what will be a yearly affair, promising to engage talented youth in music, technology, and other sectors. Taiwo Alake, Osbc News.
You're welcome to our sports segment. Over now to Omotayo Adebodun for more sports news.
Bundesliga club Eintracht Frankfurt are in talks with KRC Genk for Super Eagles forward Paul Onuachu. Onuachu has continued his impressive scoring form for Belgian Pro League side Genk this season. The 28-year-old is currently the top scorer in the Belgian top flight, this time with 14 goals in 18 matches. According to a report, Eintracht Frankfurt, who are the current Europa League champions, have initiated talks with Genk for the transfer of Onuachu during the current window. The Eagles' 50 million euros bid, however, fell short of Genk's valuation of the player. Genk valued Onuachu around 25 million euros and are not willing to sell below the asking price. He has scored 96 goals in 108 league appearances for Genk. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich forward Sadio Mane has returned to training today as the Senegalese international continues his recovery from a leg injury which forced him out of the World Cup. In a video published on the club's Twitter page, Mane appeared on the show cover pitch at Munich's training ground. Mane, who is 30 years, injured his right leg during the 6-1 home win against Werder Bremen in November 8 and underwent surgery, ruling him out of Senegal's World Cup campaign. Bayern Munich coach Julian Nagelsmann said in early January that Mane, who arrived last summer from Liverpool, could be in line for a return for the second leg of their Champions League last 16 clash against Paris Saint-Germain on the 8th of March. In the meantime, UEFA will take action to prevent other clubs from copying Chelsea's model of handling long-term contracts to players. The Blues have taken the decision to offer 8 years deal to their new signings, raising eyebrows. According to reports, the move was deliberate as it let the club further spread out the cost of a transfer on their book. Such a move allows them to spend more money upfront on new players without falling foul of financial fair play regulations. The report adds that UEFA will soon introduce rules to prevent such measures. They will ensure that within financial statements, players' deals can be split up by a maximum of 5 years on the book. Or Motayo Adebodun, Osbc News.
Now to some foreign stories. The Burkina Faso government has clarified that it had asked France to pull out its troops out of the insurgency-hit country within a month. Taufikat Abdul-Hakim has the details of these and more on our foreign desk.
France has around 400 special forces soldiers stationed in junta-ruled Burkina Faso, but relations have deteriorated in recent months. Government spokesperson Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo said the step is not the end of diplomatic relations between Burkina Faso and France, added that determination is normal and is foreseen in the terms of the agreement. French President Emmanuel Macron had said Paris was awaiting clarification from Ouedraogo over the pullout call. Government spokesman stated that the insurgency has claimed the lives of thousands and driven at least 2 million others to flee their homes. Meanwhile, the U.S. state of California is reeling from its third mass shooting in 8 days after a man shot dead 7 former co-workers south of San Francisco. Report says the attacks took place in the coastal city of Half Moon Bay. The victims were all Chinese-American farm workers. Suspect Zhao Shunli, aged 67, was arrested after driving to a police station. It comes as the state mourns the death of 11 at Monterey Park, about 6 hours southeast of Half Moon Bay, during Lunar New Year celebrations. California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted that he was at a hospital meeting with victims of the earlier mass shooting when he was pulled away to be briefed about the second attack, describing it as a tragedy upon tragedy. Taufikat Abdul-Hakim, Osbc News.
And that ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Babatunde Bolatito. My name is David Ojo. Thanks for watching and good night.